Hello you guys, thank you so much for joining me on another video. If you're new here, karibu sana. My name is Rozitta. On today's video, I'm excited because I'm beginning a series called 21 from 2021. Basically, these are 21 lessons that I have learned from the beginning of this year up until this particular moment. I just felt like it would be good for me to share the lessons I've learned so that as we cross over into 2022, we can be better, because once you know better, you will definitely do better. So I hope you guys are going to stick around for the complete series. Every day I'm going to be sharing with you 3 lessons, meaning it's going to be a 7-day series. If any episode blesses you or you feel like you're resonating with a particular episode, feel free to share it with your friends. And if there's a lesson that gives you that aha moment, also be sure to comment it in the comment section below for the sake of those who are going to be visiting the comment section. So without wasting much time, let's just get right onto the first lesson. The very first video I did at the beginning of this year was a video about my vision board. And I remember at that particular moment, I was very excited. I was so psyched up. I was feeling like nothing is impossible, yeah? Well, we are in December, and truth be told, the only thing I've accomplished on that vision board, it's probably an eighth of what I had put on the vision board. And this is why I have come to learn, and this is my first lesson, that when you are setting goals, be sure to set goals that whose fulfillment is dependent wholly on you. Don't set goals whose accomplishment depends on other people. And that is the mistake that I did. I put out my vision board, I put out my goals, my everything that I wanted to accomplish this year, but only up until recently I realized, oh my God, all these are dependent on other people. It means for them to come to pass, someone else has to come into play, you know. And that is so wrong, because a vision is supposed to be yours. Goals are supposed to be yours. When you're setting goals, you are setting goals for yourself and not for someone else. And that's the mistake I did. But on the bright side, I have learned from it. Next year, as I'm setting out my goals, I'll be sure to set them in such a way that I'll be the one who is solely involved. That way, I'm sure I will not disappoint myself. And you know what happens? Every time you set a goal and then you don't accomplish it, or you set out a vision and it doesn't come to pass within the timeline you expected, what happens is you lose a little hope in yourself. And when this happens a lot of times, eventually you get to a point where you feel like you have given up on yourself. But the problem is you set the goal depending on someone else. You set a vision that required someone else to come into play and not wholly yourself. So that is something I have learned, and definitely the first lesson that I think I needed to share with you guys. The second lesson I'll be sharing with you is life is lived forward, but it's understood backward. Recently I was going through my books. You know, I have very many notebooks, like a ton of notebooks, like so many. I have to insist, there's so many. So I was going through them, trying to find if I can get at least an empty notebook that I can set aside to detail some financial information, you know, trying to keep track and stuff. And as I was going through my notebooks, I came across this particular small notebook, black leather cover, you know them, they're very popular. So as I was perusing through the pages, I came across a particular page where I had written a dream I had, like a literal dream, not a dream for the future, like a dream when you sleep and you dream. I'm explaining too much, but I need you to understand. So I wrote that dream down, and I completely forgot about it. So the dream was about somebody who was pursuing a relationship with me. So the dream was really disturbing because it definitely installed a lot of doubts in me. So I happened to decide to write the dream down just in case later on the dream would make sense. So I wrote down the dream and explained every detail and stuff. And at the end of that explanation, I wrote a prayer and I was like, God, if this is not the man, please find a way to get me out of this situation. If this is not the man, find a way for me to just get out of it, you know, because of course I encouraged it. So if it's wrong, get me out of it. And then I forgot about it completely, like I forgot. So as I was reading through the book, I was like, oh my God, when did I write this, you know? And I realized that God in his own way had gotten me out of the situation without me even knowing that I'm walking out of it, you know, so seamlessly. And suddenly everything began to make sense, because after God managed to get me out of that situation, this guy apparently got engaged 3 months later, and then another 3 months later he's married. And ironically, he's married to the lady he was telling me he doesn't like. And you know, some men, you know. So anyway, point is, everything made sense in that situation. And that is how life is for most of us. Sometimes we may never understand what we are going through at a particular moment. You feel like nothing is making sense, everything is moving too fast, you are overwhelmed, and it can get to a point where you're feeling like you are just living within the motions of life. But lesson learned, at the end of it all, everything will make sense. So lay down your anxiety, lay down your fears, lay down your doubts, and believe that every day is going to fill in a puzzle in that jigsaw. Every day is going to explain some detail about the past that you didn't understand. And there's no need to fear, because once you understand everything, you'll actually be grateful for the past that you thought did not make sense. So I hope I've made sense with that lesson, that life is lived forward, but it's understood backward. Lesson number 3 is this: prepare for the blessings that you pray for. So many people, including myself, sometimes we find ourselves praying for stuff, but then you get to a point and you forget that you are praying for it. You forget that you are seeking a particular blessing, and then it comes your way, and suddenly it's like a rat race. Suddenly you're in a rush. Suddenly you don't know how to handle it. Suddenly it's overwhelming for you, you know. And this happened to, okay, it didn't happen to me directly, but somehow I'm involved. Somebody I know really wanted, I don't give the details, but he really wanted something so badly, so badly. I mean so badly. And he pursued it for the longest time possible. And I don't know if you've ever found yourself in that position where you are pursuing a particular blessing for a very long time, you know? Have you ever found yourself in that situation? I had a friend who was in that situation, and eventually he got what he wanted, you know, like laid on a silver platter there, plain for him, you know. And not long, I don't even think a week lasted when he said, you know what, I don't even know how to handle this. I can't handle it. It's too much for me. And I sat down and thought to myself, oh my God, this is what you wanted. So you get it, and suddenly it's too much for you. Are you serious? You know, and at that particular moment, I got to learn, every time you want to pray for something, be sure that you're ready for it. The moment you're not prepared for a blessing that you've prayed for, chances are you're just going to go ahead and squander it. You are going to go ahead and destroy it. And that is what so many of us do. You pray for a relationship, it comes your way, suddenly you can't handle it. You walk out. You pray for finances, they come your way, you don't know how to deal with your money, you don't know how to budget, you don't know how to invest, you squander all of it, then you back to zero, praying for the same amount of money. You pray for a job, you get the job, you don't know how to handle it, you quit, you know. So as you go into 2022, I pray that you are going to be able to do as much preparation as much as you are praying, you know. Let the proportion be equal. I hope you have learned something from today's lessons. This was day 1 of 21 from 2021. In case there's a lesson that has resonated with you, be sure to comment it down below. And I'll see you tomorrow on day 2 of 21 from 2021. Be sure to subscribe and also turn on the notifications for notifications every time I upload a video. Until tomorrow, bye guys.